the game on the line and just one more chance to win. NHL players score some crazy game winners.
Oh my goodness, what a goal!
And first, Colorado scored a series-winning goal with just 5 seconds left.
Johnson dishes the pass to the near side. Helm shoots, scores! Can you believe it? 4.9 seconds left.
5 seconds? That's crazy. But the game winners just keep getting crazier as we go up on the list. I mean, just take a look at what Rick Nash did in number 19.
Outlet pass for Rick Nash. Nash now tries to split the defense and walk in. Nice move. Another nice move. He scores! What a goal! It doesn't get any better than this. Rick Nash, how do you do?
With 20 seconds left and you pull that off, of course it became one of the most iconic goals of all time. But still, that was in the regular season. Number 18's game winner happened in the playoffs.
Check as he plays to the point. Instead, he works his way back free. Granlund fires, score! And Mikael Granlund ends this one. What a play by Mikael Granlund.
But the game winner in number 17 wasn't even supposed to be possible. Somehow, the Blackhawks still pulled it off. See, after Calgary scored 5 goals in just 6 minutes, everyone watching were sure that the game was over before it really even begun. But against all expectations, play by play, goal by goal, Chicago managed to drag themselves back in the game. And finally, in the third, they tied the game.
Rabbit ear antennas too, and they score! Duncan Keith with a shot.
And after that, all that was left to do was just to put the cherry on top on overtime.
Stolen, Seabrook, holding, shooting one, he scores! Brent Seabrook has won it in overtime. Chicago climbs the mountain, they get to the top and seal it.
Coming back to win the game while down 5? That's wild. But it still ain't even close to the greatest comeback in NHL history. And I'm gonna tell you all about that later in this video. But I mean, at least Rangers didn't try hurting anyone during that play. Because the game winner in number 15 only happened because a team tried injuring someone. See, with just 3 minutes left on a tied game, Montreal player came from a blind angle and tackled Chris Letang to the head.
Letang's hurt.
Letang's face was bleeding badly, so naturally everyone thought his night was over. But after the game eventually went into overtime, he came back, just to do this.
How about Neal skating backwards to the goal? Letang shoots and scores! Letang! Justice has been served, folks! Chris Letang wins it for the Penguins in overtime!
Man really came back to life, just to make sure Montreal didn't win the game. But Letang ain't even the only one who's done something like that. Because earlier in the 2010 season, Marc Savard was knocked out cold. So later in the season, in the second round of the playoffs, he was finally cleared to make his return. And he did it in the best possible way. Coming back to score the OT winner? Man, that's almost as crazy as what the Stars pulled off in number 13. Because after still trailing with just 15 seconds left, they still managed to turn it around.
Underneath the end line. Boost in the trapezoid. Fought for. Bounces in. They score! They tied it! Craig Smith, the former Pred!
But just tying the game wasn't enough. Because just a few seconds later,
The slot knocked down. Here's a chance. Score! Dallas! 2 seconds left. Can you believe it?
they really scored the game winner with just 2 seconds left. But Drew Doughty didn't even need 2 seconds, because he really hit a buzzer beater to win the game.
Shot again by Kopitar and a save, and 1 second to go. Score! The Kings are going to win the game. Set it up for Drew Doughty. There's the high puck. He just touches it right there. And he puts it right on the stick. There was 0.4 seconds remaining. Rick Nash is still over at the timekeeper's bench, talking with the referee.
Wait a minute. Did the clock pause mid-play to give Doughty just enough time to score? Either way, that goal was crazy, but it didn't send a team to the Stanley Cup Finals, unlike number 11. Yeah, the Blackhawks were 1 win away from the finals, when in double OT, Patrick Kane scored his 3rd of the night.
There's a turnover. Here's Taves and Kane. 2-on-1. Looks like back his point over shot. Patrick Kane in overtime. This pass is absolutely perfect
And to top that off, Kane hit the heartbreaker silly he learned from Bedard. But now that we move into the top 10, it's time to take a look at the greatest game winners of all time. Like the time a game winner broke a curse. See, the Capitals have always struggled to get past Pittsburgh in the playoffs. In the last 30 years alone, Penguins have ended the Capitals season 9 times. So, in the 2018 playoffs, after losing to the Pens in the second round for 2 years straight, Capitals were ready to break the curse and finally get to the conference finals.
Kuznetsov gets loose, Evgeny coming down the middle, a shot, and it comes in over, he scores! He scores! Evgeny Kuznetsov wins it for Washington! It's off to the third round! The Demons have been exercised! Good morning, good afternoon, and good night, Pittsburgh!
Damn, my man almost gave the announcer a stroke.
Evgeny Kuznetsov!
Either way, that play happened in Game 6. Number 9's game winner, on the other hand, happened in overtime of Game 7.
He's run into by Bolin. Right back ahead comes Seabrook with a shot.
But that ain't even the craziest Game 7 overtime winner I've seen. Because in number 8, Alex Burrows pulled off something even crazier. Just take a look at this.
Andrews coming the puck back in. Campoli trying to clear it. Burrows shoots, scores!
Man, that's gotta be the most beautiful game winner I've ever seen. But it still ain't the best though, because that's still yet to come. Either way, that Burrows goal wasn't the only crazy series-winning goal Vancouver scored that year. Because in number 7, Canucks scored the weirdest game winner I've ever seen.
The puck looked like it was out of play, but it stayed in. Kevin Bieksa took the shot. Vancouver's won it in double overtime.
That's gotta be the slowest game winner ever. Just imagine losing the conference finals to that goal. Man, that's tough. But what the Senators went through was even tougher, because after making a historic playoff run, they lost Game 7 of the conference finals in double overtime. The goal was crazy though.
From the bench, it's Crosby. Crosby on Kunitz and shot.
But even that goal ain't nothing compared to what we have coming up, because now it's time to move into the top 5. And at number 5, we got a game winner so crazy, it got its own nickname. On April 10th, 1982, Gretzky's unbeatable Oilers had a 5-0 lead after 2 periods in a playoff game against the Kings. And at that point, everyone had lost their hope for the home team.
When I look at Jerry Buss, the owner, is gone, and I don't know whether to say on the broadcast, even the owners bailed out on this game.
At that point, the Kings needed more than a few goals. They needed a miracle. But they still didn't lose hope. And just a few minutes into the third, they got the first one, then the second, then the third, and not long after, the Kings had made it a 1-goal game. At that point, everyone on the building knew that there was still a chance that they would witness something impossible, and with just 5 seconds on the clock. And after that, the Kings didn't look back, because when overtime rolled around, they were ready to put this thing to bed. And just like that, the craziest comeback in NHL history was born. And for that, the night was named Miracle on Manchester. But to be fair though, that game winner didn't win them the Stanley Cup. Unlike in number 4, when Patrick Kane scored the weirdest Stanley Cup winning goal of all time. Kane was the only one that knew it was in. That's crazy. But the game winner in number 3 is even crazier, because a player scored a slap shot from the blue line to win the game. Yeah, when a series-deciding Game 7 between Detroit and St. Louis went into the second overtime. Yeah, my man definitely has the biggest rack in the whole league to be able to pull that off. But even that goal doesn't compare to number 2, the greatest Game 7 in NHL history. Cause with just 10 minutes left, San Jose were trailing 3-0 and lost their captain because of injury.
Oh, Pavelski was dropped. He's lying on the ice.
But the Sharks got a one final chance with a 5-minute power play, during which something magical happened.
Blocked, the bank sends it back across the tree, scores! That took 6 seconds. Works it back to Erik Karlsson. Karlsson along, Risha, touchdown! And the Sharks are within 1. Drops it back to Burns, swings it back across the tree, and shoots, scores! Absolutely unbelievable! Back is LeBanc at the point. Works his way in. LeBanc walks it in, fires, the Sharks have taken it away!
Yeah, they really scored 4 goals on that single power play to take the lead. But the game wasn't over, because with under a minute left, Vegas managed to tie it up.
To Mark Stone, centering pass, they score! Jonathan Marchessault with 47 seconds to go, and the game is tied!
And that forced the game into overtime, where Barclay Goodrow reached deep into his bag and pulled out something the Sharks fans will never forget.
Erik Karlsson, in he comes, front to the head, Goodrow in alone! The overtime winner, and the Sharks have come back to win the game and the series!
That game winner will always be part of history, but I just couldn't put it at number 1 knowing that it didn't win the Stanley Cup. Cause in number 1, Alec Martinez scored the greatest game winner in NHL history to win the Kings their second Stanley Cup.
Now it's Martinez in a 3-on-2. Clifford gave it across. It's held in a shot. Safe. Rebound.
Scored the OT winner in Game 7 in the Western Conference Finals against the Chicago Blackhawks.
Damn, what a goal. And I know for a fact you want to see more plays like these. So just go ahead and click here to see the craziest plays of this NHL season.